Hi guys, today we're going to look at Submission Grinder. Now, what is Submission Grinder? Submission Grinder is a tool that is built to help writers find literary magazines, contests, platforms to submit your works to. And when I talk about writers, not just every writer, I'm talking about poets, I'm talking about writers of short fiction, short stories, flash fiction, and stuff like that. So with Submission Grinder, you can sort for work, find them, and you can also filter works based on if they pay writers, right? Yeah, so what we'll do now is we'll hop onto Submission Grinder and I'll walk you through how to use it for free. So what we'll do is we'll quickly hop onto the grinder.diabolicalplots.com and I'll put the link in the description. Now, once you go to that site, you land on this place here, right? And you see everything. Now, I'll address everything and what everything means, right? On this page, we'll go, right, of course. First, we have the logo, and then we have latest story. Now, I would have clicked on this story, but I don't want to, because of copyright issues, I don't want to click on it and then start showing the story, right? But if you click on this, the whole latest idea of latest story is to show you that the latest story that has been published, right? And how does it track this? It's simply people who use Submission Grinder and got their work published. So they kind of like give them publicity that once their work get published, you can go read it out there, right? And then from the archives of Escape Pod, right? These are stories you can read, right? But this is not really why we're here. Now, the main reason why we're here is because of these guys, this guy here, the search functionality, and this guy at the bottom. But before we proceed, let's look at this big box here, which is welcome to Submission Grinder, the site statistics. Now, the first thing we'll notice is that they have 16,746 markets, which is literary magazines, contests, print magazines, genre magazines, and all the other forms that are available that is in the database. But currently, they have 3,090 open. So what it means by open is that about 3,090 are looking, would accept your submission, because for most magazines, sometimes they have a time-based submission period, which means that if you submit the work to them when they don't accept submission, they're not going to consider it. Like nobody is even going to listen. So probably they will like, I'll say, okay, from the 1st of December to the 31st of December, that's when we accept submission, and that's when you can submit to them, right? Okay, so the next thing we have is markets recently updated. They updated the data in about 68 markets, and market recently they added 24. Now, currently, you see the site has about 11,627 users. So they have 11,627 users. And so far, the number of submissions that the users on the site have used it for is 65,600. 656,301. Yeah, that's the number. 656,301. At a point, I was quite lost. So now, if you know of a magazine that is not on the market and you're like, oh, this magazine is newly based out there, you can suggest a new market listing. Now, this is for those of you, the writers that are that also have literary magazines. Let's say you newly started a literary magazine, you started a school magazine or high school magazine, and you want to put it in this database such that other people can find it, can go read your stuff. They can also submit to the magazine, so you can suggest a market listing. So what I'll do is I'll open a new tab to see what that looks like. And if you have a feature suggestion, you see a problem and you want to contact, you can contact them and give them feedback, right? Now, currently, the Submission Grinder is free, right? It's completely free, which means that they accept donations. So you can donate to them. You can, by clicking on the donate button, you can pledge on Patreon. So that's more like donate is one time, then pledge on Patreon is more like every month I'll give so and so, and it's recurring. And then you can buy one of books to keep the site going, right? Right. So this is for the box here. Now, before we proceed with this guy under this recently added markets and recent activity, let's check out the suggest a new market listing. So you can click on the market name, the market website, and send, and then they would collect they'll go check it out and collect the data and then add it to the database. So this is applicable if you have a literary magazine or you have a high school literary magazine that you want to put out there so that other people can see in the world to get traffic and users to your site. Now, back to this guy, we have this table. And what does this table mean? It simply tracks recent rejection and acceptance. So, of course, rejection is always more than acceptance. Like the math is just pretty simple. A lot of persons get rejected more than the persons accepted. There's so few magazines and so many persons submit a lot of works. So you see rejection, 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 and rejection. And this data, where they collected this data from, is from the users on the site. Remember, they have 11,627 users. So these users, they use submission grinder to track their submission. And when they get rejected, when they submit and they get rejected, take note of that on submission grinder. And that's where the data comes from, right? So these works rejected, and these are acceptance. So you can go read the work. You see, congratulations, Lena Ng. And yeah, basically that's that. So if you feel like this guy, she was accepted in this work, I feel that my chances will be high. Let me go and apply there, right? And take notes of these days, right? These days is about how long it took before the rejection came. So it's more like the response time, 7 days, 62 to 95 days. So you see this one now, Just Keep On magazine, 10 days. Well, it's fairly quick, and she got accepted. I want to see another acceptance and see how long it took. What other acceptance do we have here? Wow. So there were no acceptance from just one acceptance in all of them, right? And so you can also, this is recent activity, you can also click on recently added markets and see the magazines that was recently added. And you can see for most of them is non-paying, but this one they pay $50 per piece, $200 per piece. Okay, this one is a context. Okay, literary chapbook contest. So on the home page you had recent activity, recently added markets, right? Now, where the magic really happens is when we come to the search functionality. Now, when you see the search, you see it's into 5 parts, right? So we have the advanced search, advanced search fiction, advanced search poetry, advanced search non-fiction, search by name, alphabetical listing, right? First, what does each and every one of these columns mean? Because this is not like the most important feature on this site. Well, alphabetical listing, what it's going to do is going to list all the, let's see it. So let it not look as if we're just talking. I'll open all the tabs for each and every one of the feature so we can go through it. So alphabetical listing. So now you see what the alphabetical listing simply means is you can browse through the different sites based on the alphabetical name. So if this hash simply means websites that start with a number. So if you want websites that start with Z, you can click on Z and you see all them. Z is for zombies. Z is for zombies. Z Publishing House. That's actually their name. Z is for zombies is actually their name. Then Zaban, Zahe, a journal of speculative fiction, Zeal, and so many other zero readers fiction, zero readers fiction, zero reader non-fiction. I don't know why it's duplicating it, but I think it was entered different. But you see all the magazines that start with Z, right? So you can browse through alphabetically and you can go from A to Z, right? And then the other functionality is the search. So if you know a magazine and you want to search for it, right? So if let's say I'm looking for Granta, I can search for Granta and I can see Granta fiction, Granta non-fiction, Granta poetry, and they have the average response days. Now take note that the average response days is taken from the users on the site, right? So sometimes it might not be as accurate as possible because sometimes people don't fill in the data, and sometimes one or two persons fill the data, and that will be the data that is being used, and it's not like comprehensive enough compared to when the source of the data is very large, right? So we see Granta poetry, nobody has filled in any response time, so it has no data. Granta non-fiction, 31 days, 54 days. Now take note of the length. The length is short story, right? So it's about the traditional length of short story. It's about 2,000 to up to 10,000, right? The specifications will differ for the magazines, but it's around that length. And then we have non-fiction, right? That's personal essays and all that. And then we have poetry. So we have the genre. So it's general literature, literary genre, right? And then what does this T mean? Okay, temporary closed. So the other time I told you that most magazines they have what we call submission window, right? They don't accept submissions all year round, right? They're not open all year round. So when it's time for submission, they publish it and tell you, right, for 1 month they're open and you can submit, and then that's when they consider it. So it's temporarily closed, it's not currently open. So this is the data. You can click through to any of these to see what they entail. Now, as much as possible, I'll try not to be too long with the video, but let's just click on one, click through and see what it looks like. Now, you see the description of the magazine when it was founded, right? The market is currently closed. And they tell you that this market charges a fee of 4.44 to submit, right? So it's a pain. You have to pay in order to submit your work. Now, the genre is general, the short story, then 3,000 to 6,000 words. I told you about 2,000 to 10,000 words, but 3,000 to 6,000 words, right? Okay. Now, currently, the pay scale is not known. It doesn't mean that if to confirm, you can go check from the website and see how much the website actually pays. And most websites, sometimes some of them they tell you directly, some of them they don't tell you. But for a magazine like Granta, they should be paying because really they charge submission fee and all that. They should be paying. And you see, okay, does it have a submission for AI submissions or no policy? Right? They don't yet have a stand. Electronic submission, yes. Postal submission, no. Multiple submission, no. Simultaneous submissions, yes. Okay, so what do we mean by? I will explain each and every one of the feature. As much as possible, I don't want this video to be too long, but I'll try as much as possible to be fast. AI submission is if the story is AI generated. Electronic submission is you submit through your laptop, your phone, like normal digitally. Right? Then postal submission is you want to print you print your story or you type out your story or you write your story and then put it in an envelope and then ship it out to the address of the magazine. Currently, they don't accept that, right? And so this why I'm going through each and every one of this is to explain it because this is how most of the pages will look like for each of the magazines. So multiple submissions is since they say submit short story, right? For some magazines, you can submit up to 5 different short stories, and whatever one that is really good that they really like, they would publish. But for this one, they don't accept multiple. You can only submit one short story, right? And then simultaneous submissions, of course, simultaneous submission simply means that if I submit a short story to Granta, I can also submit that short story to 10 other different magazines at the same time, depending on which one accepts my work first, and then I would get that published. So what that simply means is that if I submit a story, let's say the beginning, that's the name of the story, the beginning, and I submit to Granta, I submit to 10 other different magazines, right? I want to increase my odds, right? And if let's say Granta accept the work first and they accept my work, well, most of them they would say they will reject the work, but if they accept my work, what I would simply do and tell the other magazines, I would withdraw my work and say, no, I don't want you guys to publish it again, right? I think that's stressful, but it's worth it most of the time. Then translations, original language only, right? Yeah, then estimated response time about 180 days. So nobody is estimated, nobody really knows. And then you can see market provided data. Currently, it's not yet updated. Okay, and market response data user reported. Okay, so this market provided data is data actually from the magazine, and I don't think the magazine has actually contacted them to update it. The market response data user reported. Okay, this one is from responded 98 times. These are the data collected from the magazine. So submission timeline for Granta. All right. So what we're seeing now is we're saying this is when I don't know if you've noticed something. Okay, this is 2023, 2024, 20 in 2024. It seems like they opened their submission portal for 3 times in a year. From 2024 down to this 3 times they accepted submission, and it's 3 different times, right? So that's like data for each one of them. So when you click on this link, you go directly to the website. You can suggest correction, you can support them. Let's see what these guidelines mean. Okay, so once you click on guidelines, it will take you to the actual Granta submission guidelines page, right? Where the page that was built for people who want to submit to the website, right? So if you click on this now, you see I told you I think 3 times, right? Okay, so they opened 4 times. Okay, so it's 3 times so far they've opened this year. The next one they will open will be in 1st of December to 31 of December. So there are presently no open calls for submissions, right? And then you can read the submission guidelines and see everything. Wait. Why is it showing 2023? I think they need to update that. I don't know. But then you can also click on website to go directly to the website and see what the website looks like, right? And you can see different writings on the website and see new writing, different forms of writing, advertising, Granta, submissions. So submissions is more like you want to submit and you can just peruse. This is the actual Granta website, right? What I want to see is I'm digressing, but I want to see if Granta actually pays and if they talk about their payment in their magazine. Yeah, let's know. They pay. Why? Okay. Why is this thing not opening? Uh-huh. Okay, it's committed, blah 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 blah. Where did you guys talk about how much you pay? For your low you would like to apply for, please click through. Okay, so they do have form more like a scholarship or if you don't like if you can't afford the payments, let's say you're from a third world country and you really want to submit your work, so they charge £3, $50. Sorry, £3, £3 50 penny. Is it 50 pennies or 50? I don't know, about £3.50, right? And if you want to apply, you can apply. But they didn't talk about how much they pay, right? But I think that would be in their frequently asked questions. That's not what I can't afford submissions. Okay, they give 200 free submissions to authors on low income. Okay, how much do you pay if my piece is accepted? We pay professional rates for the publication of all unsolicited submissions via submittable. Professional rates. What exactly is professional rates? I don't know, but I think what they are saying, professional rates is more like is the industry standard up there, right? Let me check. What was professional rates for short stories? Currently, 8 cents per word. So if you have, where's my calculator? If you have 8 cents per word, and let's say the story is the range is 3,000 to 6,000 words, and you submit a 5,000 word story, that would be five. Why is this, why is the calculator not working? What's happening? What is going on? Okay, now it's working. 5,000 times 8, right? That's 8 cents. 100 cents make $1. So we'll have to divide by 100. So about $400 for a story. Yeah, $400 to $500. Well, that's not bad. Okay, so they do pay and they disclose their rates. So we digressed a bit, back to where we were. So now we see search for non-fiction markets, right? So we've done alphabetical listing, search by name. So now we're looking at search by non-fiction. So this is basically everything here, all the data, all the entry points and all that is customized for non-fiction market. So the question is, what kind of piece? Is it a general? Is it an essay? Is it a review? Is it an interview? Is it a memoir? Is it scholarly? Is it reportage? Is it biography? Is it children? What kind of stuff is it? Then we also always include general and results. The word counts, right? Usually I'll just leave this one straight up. Then submission type, is it electronic or poster, right? So let's play around. Most people, I know everything, most everybody does everything electronic, but I want to see if anybody accepts poster this period. So average response time, I don't really know. It depends. Market takes original. Yeah, do they pay? Let's put zero. Let's put zero. Market qualification. So do you want to submit to a market that has win an award? Let's just see any kind of qualification. Because this one I chose poster. I will not get the result. But let's try. Let's see Pushcart. Pushcart, which of out of all these prices, which one is the biggest? I have no idea. But I know I've heard of Pushcart, I've heard of Hugo, Nebulas, I've heard of all of them. But let's just see any qualification. Okay, so sort by name, only anthologies and only contests. No. Yeah. So you can sort that, right? Let me just do I have any keyword in mind? No, I don't have any keyword in mind. So this is where you put, let's say you have a keyword, like you want let's say a non-fiction magazine that is towards social justice and all those other things. You can put in the words here and it will sort that for you. But let's just search it and see what it looks like. So you see the features, the search parameters, the filter parameters, every other thing is customized for non-fiction markets, right? If you go to the search for fiction market, you will notice that has also been customized for that. Wow. So wow, in this age and time, we do have a platform that accepts poster submissions. Wow. Westlife, Fidohead, Fun for Git, Gemini Magazine. Wow, wow. And they even pay. My God, well, for me, electronic is the best. But I'm just saying, like, wow, that's nice. It's nice to know. So you can see these magazines, and you can click through each and every one of them to see their features, just the way we click through on Granta. Now we noticed for the genres, they didn't really see anything. It's open, unlike the other one, you saw T, which meant it was closed. So you see open, everything is green, and which means you can submit to these magazines right now for your non-fiction, and they do pay. This one pay 50 cents per word. This one pay 9 cents per word. 15 cents. The data, nobody has really responded. When they say no data, it doesn't. It simply means that none of their user has actually maybe submitted to this magazine and told them how long it took them to respond to them, right? So the only one is outside Bozeman that someone has actually said, okay, it took me 9 days and stuff like that, right? And of course, if it's more than that, you can filter if you by clicking any of the column, right? You can filter ascending or descending order, right? So that's from non-fiction market. I know this thing is getting really long, but as much as possible, I will try to make it shorter. Okay, so search for poetry market, the same thing. You see that all the functionalities are customized to fit search for poetry market. So we have for erotica, children, science fiction. You can select any of that. You also have maximum response time, which is the same as the search for non-fiction market and preprints. This other side is basically the same. And then you can select by line count, right? Word count. And then usually what I do is if I'm searching for a market is I if I want them to okay what I look for is okay if they pay what they pay I put in zero. Once you put zero, it will put payments into account. So I'm also looking at do they charge for submission, right? Fee based, right? So fee based, no, I don't want anyone that charge fee based. AI allowed stuff like that. So I'll click on search and it does that for me, searching everything. It's taking a long time. Okay, everything is wow, this is really long. How long does it go? How long does it go? Wow, that's the end. I thought I wouldn't see an end. Wow. Okay, so now I can filter based on so point you see that everything here is open. Every platform here you can submit to them right now. And then we see the different pay. So if I want to sort out by the highest pay, I'll click on this, and now I see that this one they pay $800 per poem, $500, $300, $200, $200, $200. Now, of course, if they are paying, it also means that a prestigious magazine, which means they afford to make money, and a lot of persons are submitting to that platform too. So the other thing I can look at is okay, this I can filter this. Okay, well let's see what it says. Poetry. Okay, so it's not something that can be filtered. It's just the length is just either poetry, short story, or non-fiction. So we also have average response days. I can sort this out to okay, they respond to 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, right? So if I just want to like get quick response and move on, I can sort it out by that, right? Limited demographic, right? Okay, so this LD simply means the magazine accepts work from not it's not open to it's open to the general public, but like if you can submit, anybody can submit, but they just need certain kind of persons to submit, right? Let's say the magazine is looking for work from a specific group of people. Like this one, they're looking for works from queer writers. Let's say this one, they're looking for non-binary, genderqueer, and two-spirit writers. Okay, like these ones, the rest ones now they're open to every other persons. This one, trans writers. Okay, let's see. This one, okay, authors living in or originally from Pennsylvania, Delaware, or New Jersey. You see what I'm talking about, right? So if that's you, then it's also a good opportunity, which means that the population will be less compared to a magazine that's open to all of the world, right? And so you can sort out and then click through to any of the magazine that you really like, right? And then the next thing is contact us. You want to drop a line, you want to suggest a market. We've looked at suggest a market previously. Drop us a line if you want to contact them, send them a feature that you love to see. Let them see how the page looks like. Okay, while that's loading, you can support them, you can donate, you can become a patron, you can buy their books, you can buy their merch. Now you see they keep saying external. What that means is that when you click on this, you will leave the site, you go somewhere else. If you say become a patron, it will take you to Patreon. You can support them. If you say click on books, it will take you to maybe probably Amazon. Let's see where it will take us to. For Patreon, I'm quite sure that it will take us to Patreon. And then merch, it will take you to a place where you can buy some of their merchandise. Yeah, that's what merch means, merchandise. And usually, most of the time, merch is used to talk about clothes, t-shirts, and cups and all that. So of course, they do have a newsletter which you can subscribe to get updates from them. They have a FAQ where you can get all your questions answered, and you can see the people that contributed to it, and you can see the legal aspect of it. Now, logging in, you can register. When you register, you get access to different functionality. Now, the functionality you get access to is the ability to track and see other things. So we'll register. Let's see what we'll get access to. Right. Now, while that is loading, let's see the other pages. Okay, so you see contact us, please, and who are you trying to reach? the submission grinder, Dialectical Plot, someone else, right? Email address, your message, right? Okay, that's for contact us. Then you see their books now. This is still their website, all right? So it seems. So you see, these are the books, and for you to buy any of them, you will go to Amazon, of course. So these are the different books about the books, and then you can buy. Okay, the books are anthologies, right? Then you can buy any one of them on Amazon, Kobo, and your favorite platform where you buy books. The next one we have is Patreon. I don't know why this Patreon is not loading, but Patreon is a platform where people can pledge a certain amount and support every month. I don't know why it's not working. I think it's my network, but the site usually does work. But for some reason, it doesn't open on my network. And this is their merch. So you see the different things you can buy. I think this is a coffee mug. Is it coffee mug or coffee cup? Then there's a t-shirt, this art. I don't know what these other ones are, but this t-shirt, this is a bag, this a book, this is a shirt, this is a bag too. And these are other things you can get on the platform. Right. And yeah, that's it for that. So back to where we are. I did say we're going to register. So now in order to register, I have to put in my email address, my password, my display name, and I need to answer this figure. So now I would put in those details, and after which I will show you the functionalities I get to access when I do register. Okay, goes that. Now so I think I've registered. I just can't find where that place was again. Okay, which of the tab? Why is it hard to find? Okay, now this is the page I've registered, and you see it doesn't seem like anything changed, but you notice at this point, instead of login, it now shows account. So if I click on dashboard, let me see what the dashboard looks like. So dashboard simply looks at, okay, the number of works I submitted to in a year, how many accepted me, how many rejected me, how many, okay, rejections, personal, rejections, formal. So rejections formal is that generic one they just send to everybody that they didn't consider their work. And rejection personal is more like they tell you and you liked your work, your stuff was really this, but right now we can't publish it, right? Then if you earn money from it, this is it. Now this data is collected from you actually filling it in. And then these are right now everything is empty. Then there's story statistics. You can see submissions, acceptance, stuff like that. And then market statistics, submissions, acceptance, rejections. So story statistics is a particular story, right? What would happen is that, okay, how many people did you submit it to? How many acceptance did you get? How many rejections did you get? How many rejections did you get? How many amounts did you earn? So this one is the total for the year. The market statistics is, okay, what's the name of the market, right? The type of the market, how many submissions did you make? How many acceptance did you get? And stuff like that. Then you see the lifetime stats, your submissions, the pieces, everything, right? So you can manage your submissions and everything. The next one we have is manage submissions. So right now, if I go to manage submissions, I won't really see any data because once you think of it this way: instead of using a manual spreadsheet to track your submissions, you can actually use the grinder, right? Even though they have a database where you can search and look for submissions, you can use the grinder to kind of fill in your data. Now, the most important thing most people will be asking is, can I export it? Yeah, of course you can export it. You can generate export file, but I just don't think it will work now because there's nothing that has been added to it, right? So you can use this to sort it out, sort what you want to use, or you can just click on check all. That way you get to collect all the data of everything, and you can generate an export file. But currently it's not. I don't want this video to be too long, but we don't have a submission yet, so that's why it's not working. The next why it's not, what's happening? Is it my network? Why is it not working? Okay, so manage submissions. Okay, and then you can manage your submissions, right? You can manage pieces, you can manage payments, you can manage your profile, you can manage reminders. I like manage reminders because let's say you can add a new reminder. So it's simply, your idea is simply, there are magazines, funny thing is that there are magazines, especially those ones that have an opening period. You want to be reminded so that you don't miss those periods, like Granta and all that. And so you can add reminders to it. So basically that's the whole functionality of the grinder. So if you want me to like go through a tutorial and the deep use case of how you can use it and all that, please let me know, or any questions you have in the comment section, and I'll gladly make a video about that. This video has been really long.